Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I've got two pretty impressive guests here I'm excited for you to meet. This is Johnny Kolbeck and Von Kotler, and they're with Badgerloop and the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So glad to have you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I can't wait to learn more about this. I got just a teeny little bit of information before we started, but this is a really fabulous thing you guys are doing. Now, Johnny, you're the operations director, and Von, the electrical director for Badgerloop. And you're going to have to just talk to us a little bit about this. First of all, what is Hyperloop, and is it safe? I don't know much about this.
I can answer that one.
Yeah.
It's a new proposed means of transportation where you build a vehicle, you put it in a tube, and you evacuate all the air, and you send it through the tube so that you conserve as much energy as possible because there's no air friction. And so one of the dangers you're asking, is it safe? Well, if there were to be a puncture in the tube and all the air would try to rush back in, there's many different problems that you might face with this mode of transportation that others don't. So
wow,
that's what we have to think about.
Yeah, but what a unique way to get through life, I guess, if this ever becomes a practical way of transportation. Okay, so that's what Hyperloop is. Now, what's Badgerloop specifically, and what are you guys working on?
Yeah, so Badgerloop, we are a group here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Pretty diverse group as far as backgrounds, majors go. We're based in engineering and sort of that STEM technology field. But we do have, everyone from freshmen to PhD students working on things, everything from comm sci to political science. So a very diverse group that we're proud of. But what we're doing is we're all very passionate about technologies of the future, high-speed transportation, and really to contributing to that development of this Hyperloop technology that Von talked about. So that idea that was proposed actually by Elon Musk back in 2013, we as a team have been around since 2015 when SpaceX announced this competition that they'd be sponsoring.
Okay.
And so what SpaceX did is they went out and they built this giant vacuum chamber, about $12.5 million, almost a mile long. It's like 3/4 mile, right in the middle of downtown LA. It's crazy. And then they released it to the world as a competition. And so over 700 people applied for this competition back in 2015. Badgerloop was fortunate enough to be chosen out of those top 120 to go compete. And in 2016, we competed at design competition, where we were really fortunate enough to take third place in the world for our pod design, which is pretty crazy when you think of we're one of the few predominantly undergrad teams competing against, the MIT graduate programs of the world and stuff. And then we actually went and built that pod, which designing a pod is one thing, but building a pod is an entire different challenge. And took it down to California last January to compete, where we ended up winning an innovation award for our pod design and getting to meet Elon Musk and having him sit in our pod, which was just remarkable. So that's what we've been so far, and we're continuing to compete in these competitions going forward.
Oh my gosh, what an incredible endeavor. So
it's a lot to explain.
It is. Yeah, no, you're doing great though in a short time. I really appreciate what you're doing. And I want to talk a little bit, you mentioned some of the challenges, but you said, okay, that you're designing this pod, but then you actually have to create it physically. Mm-hmm. So talk to us about some of the challenges there.
Yeah, well, if you think the competition is going to be at the end of the summer, we were just at competition in January, so we designed a new pod and are now building it in a few short months. And part of the challenge is there's no template for the design, and you can't just go take it out onto the road and say, oh, well, is this going to work? It's kind of, you have to make sure you can fully test it so that it's safe and ready to go once you get there. So.
And just to put a disclaimer, no people are riding in our pods yet, just for safety reasons. But yeah, it's
good
still,
to know, good to mention.
Exactly.
Do you think this is something that is ever going to be practical for use in everyday life? Is this our future?
Yeah, I mean, we see it, how far out in the future this becomes reality for Madison in particular is up for debate. But they're building Hyperloops right now over in Dubai, over in Southeast Asia, trying to do it on the West Coast. And it really is a technology that could impact the lives of Madison for sure, because these pods that we're talking about, they're projecting speeds of 500 miles per hour, 700 miles per hour. So when you're going far distances, I mean, that's huge, and I think that's something that we should really pursue. Or we are pursuing, I guess.
Wow. Well, you guys are up for a big challenge, that's for sure. Tell folks when the reveal was. I wanted to see a photo, but I don't get to yet.
We can't share it yet.
When do you reveal?
So that is Saturday, June 17th, and it'll be from 3 to 4 p.m. Over at Engineering Hall on the UW's campus. And so we'll be revealing the pod to the public, showing, we'll have a bunch of interactive exhibits with our systems, how the things work, and you get a chance to talk to all the team members and really, you know, come out and support a local team that's trying to do some incredible stuff here on campus and
Really good.
on the world stage too.
I told you these were impressive folks and well-spoken. Great job,
Thank
you
you
guys.
very much.
Thanks
Well,
for
thanks so
being
much for
here.
having
It's
us.
been
Yeah.
fun
Thanks for having
chatting
us.
with you, Johnny and Vaughn from Badgerloop. We've got more Talk of the Town coming up after the break, so stick around.